Hello girls, it is Tuesday, October 5th. I realize I'm making this video a day late, and this is advice week. Bailey mentioned in her last video that college has just been crazy and that she didn't understand how college people did it and that she would like advice, so I'm going to give advice, which may or may not be helpful, but I'm going to give it. And just like you should do when anyone gives you advice, you should take it with a grain of salt and then take from it what you will. Advice number 1. Find something to do that is totally different from everything else that you do. For me, it's going to the rec center and working out, or just jogging or running or walking, or playing video games, specifically right now Halo Reach, because that game is amazing. It's really good to get your brain doing something else that you don't usually do. Like even reading for fun or being on the internet gets a little bit too much like everything else I already do, and it's just not really, it almost doesn't feel like a break. So find something that's completely different and give yourself a little bit of time, a few times a week, just to sort of have your own time to do something completely different. Which is another piece of advice similar to this one, is to find a little bit of time for yourself, especially when you live in the dorms. It is pretty much near impossible to find alone time in the dorms, but it's really important to do, because if you don't, I went crazy last year a few times just because I couldn't handle the amount of people I was having to live around. And as much as I loved all of the people I lived around last year, it just became too much for just to be around people. Piece of advice number 2. I know this gets said a lot, but honestly, get enough sleep and eat well and drink water. Like seriously, just do it, because A, it'll make you feel a lot better just in general, and it will help you do better in school, and it'll make you feel less stressed. It really will. Advice number 3. Seriously, plan ahead and think a little bit about what you're doing before you're in the middle of it. As a side to this, make sure you talk to your teachers, talk to faculty advisors, talk to friends and your parents, and just make sure you know what's going on as much as possible. This one is really big for me just because I'm in a bunch of different programs and trying to figure things out, and I'm really confused a lot of the time just because it's not very clear on the website and the information's not very clear. So it's just really important to talk to people and figure things out and plan ahead and just use a planner for just everyday things. Piece of advice number 4. And lastly, just remember, you are a human being, you are allowed to have fun, you don't have to do everything. Sometimes that does mean that you have to drop something that you're really into. Like, you might not be able to do 3 majors, you might have to drop one and then make one a minor. That's just the way things work. You can't do everything. Sometimes you have to change things, sometimes you have to drop things. Right now, I have been seriously making sure that I don't have too much in my schedule right now and that I don't have to do a little less of some things. And you really do need time to go have fun. You can't be working constantly, it just gets to be too much and you can't sustain a lifestyle that way. So those are my 4 pieces of advice. Hopefully those will be helpful to you. I should also watch this video myself and take this advice sometimes too, because I sometimes don't follow this advice as well as I should. Yeah. So I'm going to go because I have to leave for class in less than an hour now, and I may or may not have a quiz in that class, so I need to go study in the 45 minutes I have left before I need to be in class. So this video will probably go up sometime this afternoon, although it's morning right now when I'm filming this, but it will be up. You will see it. Obviously you have seen it, because now it is the end, and thus it is past tense. Jessica, I'll see you on Wednesday.